Alright guys, we are back again for the 5th or 6th time tonight. Can't entirely remember and keep count, but this game is going to be more exciting than the last. Of course, we have Hot Hands, the winner of our last quarterfinal match, going against, that's not actually their name and I'm not going to say it, but it is Spaghetti is their team name in SemiProDota.com. Niz is going to be my co-caster again. Are you here with us, Niz? I assume Niz will be unmuting his mic any moment and be complaining about how he forgot to unmute it. Yeah? Or did I forget? No, I did unmute in Skype. So Niz will be with us in a second again. Of course, my co-caster is at Nizcast. You can check out his Twitter there and everything. Hopefully he'll be with us soon. Again, a very strong performance out of Hot Hands last game. Cheech doing a very good job recovering as the Faceless Void in that game as it continued on, not letting the Tinker really get where he wanted to be, Fan of Sonyan and No Earth Spirit. And then also definitely a shout out, or like a whatever, however you want to say it, to Monib. That Pudge play I thought was personally incredibly strong and defined a lot of their mid game and early game strength and really led to the victory. So we'll see what they do here. We see a band coming out from Spaghetti, Faceless Void, and Tinker. And then of course on Hot Hand side we see the Lycan and the Brewmaster. And I just got a message from Niz. He says he's back. Can I officially introduce you again? And I can. So Niz, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. This is the first time we've seen Doom tonight, which I want to point out. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, Doom has been banned out in every single first four, I guess you could say. But instead, this time we see the Tinker. And we see the Brewmaster and the Void, and of course the Lycan. Lycan being the most common, along with Doom. But Viper gets through, and Wraith King will be the second pickup by Taku. Definitely strong pickups to counteract a Doom. Dooming Viper is great because it obviously removes his corrosive skin, stops Viper Strike, and stuff like that. And he carries the mech most of the time, so there is that. Dooming a Wraith King doesn't do anything. But again, Dooming Viper is kind of like a of a Doom, it's just kind of like didn't really do that much. It's nice, but there's probably going to be bigger targets for Doom to be thinking about. But Viper and Wraith King are just good blocks to put in front of Doom that he has to think about dooming or dealing with to get to the target he wants to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. But they could always go the road of not really picking anyone that's a really good Doom target, which is it's kind of weird to think that you can draft lineups like that, but you can. There are lineups I can't, think of a path they're going to go down that's going to create that, but I have seen it in the past, and just where all of a sudden a Doom pick, Doom can counter any hero in the game, but he definitely counters some heroes a lot better than others.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll see. As we see another Skywrath, another Silence coming in. So they don't like you casting spells. They're picking a bunch of anti-fun heroes. So I don't think we're actually going to see the biggest anti-fun hero in the anti-mage.
Well, I don't know what you mean anti-fun, because I absolutely love playing anti-mage. He's a rat dodo hero. Nothing like split farming. Oh, well, I mean, who likes playing against any strategy, right? Everyone complains about any strategy unless you're winning. It's just how Dota players tend to see the game, and that is what it is. Not going to rant about it here, but Shadow Shaman will be the follow-up ban coming out of Hot Hands. I do like the aspects of having the double silence, and obviously Doom silence isn't just a silence, it's a mute. It does prevent spell usage or item usage as well, much like Disruptor does with his Ags now, something that's very powerful when gotten online. But along your thought of heroes that are not that good to Doom, another hero that I generally think about is Razor. While it's great to Doom Razor if he already has Eye of the Storm up, dooming him does 200 damage to you, purges you for 2 seconds, and, again, it's a Razor, it's a Viper. If they got what they needed to get off already, it's not going to be a high-impact Doom. But the Razor is banned out by Taku himself, so he's more scared of what that could do, in addition to the Skywrath Mage. Or, I guess there are other heroes that they could be worrying about synergizing with the Razor. Also, I think actually that the logic of the Razor ban is we have a Wraith King, and when you have like a melee support or like a hero like Wraith King, Bristleback is another one that comes to mind. That's just gonna run up there and be in the front of the fight. Razor's really annoying to play against because he's just gonna sap that target. And he's just going to get 200 damage, and he's just going to right-click for 300 damage. It's just how the fight's going to work every single time. Because a good Razor is going to take advantage of that. Centaur will be the final ban for Hot Hands, and now Spaghetti will be moving into their power play section of the draft. They will be making a ban into a pick. This is usually where the second pick takes control of the draft and tries to put fear or put Hot Hands into a predicament in the draft, because they can obviously ban and pick immediately. And there are some power plays that can be made as far as what heroes you go with. We'll see what they choose to do here. Anything piquing your eye right now, Niz, or anything interesting? But or are you just kind of along the same thought right now, where I am, of kind of breaking down to what we've seen pretty much most of the games?
Not yet. You know, neither team is really, we've seen a little bit of a different draft here. We definitely haven't seen, like I said, a Doom Skywrath, that kind of combo come out yet. As like I said, this is the first Doom we've seen tonight. But I don't know where either team is going with this. Like, okay, Invoker ban. But, with Viper Wraith King, you can do a lot with that. You can use both those heroes in a tri-lane. You can go aggressive with that. You can put the Viper mid. You can make the Wraith King still be a support, or you can still have the Viper mid and have the Wraith King be a carry. Like, you can do a ton of things with this. So their draft is very, very open. So it's not going to be until these the third and fourth picks where it really starts to open up. There you go. Death Prophet really changes things, because obviously Death Prophet's a hero that you typically see mid. Sometimes you can see it solo safe or something like that, and that's still a possibility. But most likely the Death Prophet is going to be mid, which means either that Viper, they're looking for the Viper versus Doom matchup, or they're putting the Viper in some kind of tri-lane. But that remains to be seen. But we'll see how Hot Hands, Hand Warmers attempts to counter this Death Prophet pick and the extreme versatility still of the Dire lineup.
One hero that is not that common, we did talk about it way earlier at the beginning of the cast, for those of you who have been around since then. And if you have been, first of all, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys sticking through means a lot to me, and I'm sure Niz. But Omni Knight. I really like the way Omni Knight would handle the draft that Taku is bringing out right now. Obviously, the Repel is great to stop a lot of the damage from, Wraith Fire Blast, Viper, but also just his ultimate, right? Like, completely negates Death Prophet. And then the other thought I had was, obviously, with the pick of the Death Prophet, I think it's one of those heroes that Doom is incredibly strong against, but it's kind of like a catch-22. He's really strong against Death Prophet unless she has her ultimate already up. Then again, the Doom, again, if it's the same thing where I'm just kind of like, You doom the Death Prophet, but she got her ult off, right? So she can still
really
do a
effective.
ton.
It's still really effective, but obviously it's a lot more effective if you can catch her before Exorcism comes up.
Bane is a good way to guarantee that, though. If you can get a blink on Doom or Bane or both, then you can start the fight with that Doom on Death Prophet. Fiend's Grip the Wraith King or the Viper at the same time. And also worth noting, Fiend's Grip does remove mana, which means it is a more guaranteed way to kill a Wraith King.
Yep.
But yeah, that's really all I had to say there.
But yeah, absolutely. Bane's going to be a little bit of an interesting pick here, because yes, he works well at kind of that initiation thing and also securing a kill on a Wraith King, but you don't know, that Wraith King could be support. Do you really want to pick the Bane for that? I mean, they just pick Mirana into Bane. And Bane, Bane typically is good at locking down a Mirana. The Fiend's Grip on that, Mirana's not going to get away. But, that Mirana could actually still be a support as well.
Right, and it could also be a block pick. But sorry, go ahead.
But Death Prophet chews Bane alive. Like, just with her Exorcism, you don't even have to, do anything else to the Bane. The Bane will just fall over. It's a squishy hero. He has to Fiend's Grip, whatever that... Brain Sap just to stay alive from a couple ghosts hitting him. But so obviously he's going to be a really squishy pick. And
I typically don't like the Skywrath Bane roaming combo, but we did see it work last game, and
Mhm.
it was played by the same team, so obviously they like it. Maybe they're looking to.
Ooh.
That's new too.
That's triple silence because obviously Clinks naturally builds into an Orchid. It's a very standard item pickup. But one thing I wanted to point out, along with your thought about Bane, this is a little bit of a higher level mechanic that actually I found out a lot of players at our level don't even understand or know about. But you can target Death Prophet's ultimate by spamming right
Yep.
click every single time you right click. So what a good Death Prophet will do while she's being Fiend's Gripped is just spam right click on the Bane. And then the Bane will kill himself, like you said. So,
Yeah.
looking for the Death Prophet to be able to pull off that level of play, it is actually game changing because if the Death Prophet doesn't do that, the spirits may not kill Bane. But yeah, again, the Clinks gets the Orchid. You have the Ancient Seal from Skywrath, and you have the Doom. So you can Orchid the Death Prophet before she gets off ult. You could Orchid the Viper and leave him alone. You could Doom the Viper or the Death Prophet, depending on which one picks up the mech, and then you can just Ancient Seal the Mirana, and then you just burst one by one by one. And I like what Clinks gives too, because he adds a split push presence as well as the ganking presence. I think that's something that was underlooked by Clinks a lot until Eternal Envy really started to work with the blinks, Soul Ring into blink Clinks, and use the power of Clinks' split push capability. Because Searing Arrows and Strafe wrecks towers, just absolutely flattens them, and we will see Witch Doctor as the final pickup, and
That's a strong try line.
that is a very strong try lane, and before you
We don't even know what it is.
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't really matter, right? Like, they could put Wraith King Mirana Witch Doctor, or Wraith King Mirana Viper, or, you know, whatever. Even Witch Doctor
Well,
could carry, actually.
The
in
Viper
early-
and the Mirana are going to be split.
Yeah. Well,
That's it.
you never know. Witch Doctor carry, my friend.
10
But,
seconds.
sorry, I just really quickly wanted to add, though, I might have actually lost my thought. Oh, Witch Doctor, Death Prophet, Mirana, Viper. 4 targets you need to silence to win the fight. They only have 3. They do have Fiend Script. They do have Sleep. And they do have
5
Level Death to help cancel the ultimate from Witch Doctor. But we will have a Meepo in the semifinals game. And I am excited for this. Moneb played an absolutely amazing Pudge. While you were gone, I was kind of tooting his horn a little bit about how I really thought he played his Pudge well. So I'm excited to see what he brings out on his Meepo pick. But before we talk more about this draft, let's go ahead and introduce our teams as we are into the semifinals of this Sunday's edition of the Semi-Pro Cup Series. These teams are fighting for a chance to play in the finals for $100. And for hot hands, smoking up early on, we have Cheech, the captain, playing Clinks, Drop, the offlane Doom, I assume, Melabomb, playing the support Skywrath Mage, the Chondigator, playing Bane, support, and Monib is going to be picking up the middle, I assume, Meepo, possibly carry.
On this dire side, using the name Dix, but they are in the tournament brackets as Spaghetti. We have the captain Taku playing Mirana. We have Zeb on the Witch Doctor. We have Quirt on the Viper. We have Soji Best Morgana, Wraith King, playing the Wraith King, and we have
Battle will commence
3
in
exclamation points
30
playing the Death
seconds.
Prophet.
Very excited is this Death Prophet. And we did see QWE Quirt go ahead and dodge that gank coming out of Hot Hands. Smoke was blown right before they could get in range. And of course, Sleep is one of those spells that actually has a very long or a short initiation range. The one interesting thing about Bane that you play him more, you start to notice, and other heroes actually experience this too, but when targets are running away from Bane specifically, he gains he gains up to 200 range on both Sleep and Fiend's Grip. Oh, I completely missed First Blood, and I am blind. I apologize, guys. Did not look down there as we actually, I assume, saw an arrow from Taku hit
I didn't see. It looked like he just walked up this
this high ground, and they were sitting right up there. And Dota Raptors missing the First Blood, guys. I am sorry. First one of the day.
I didn't
Won't
miss
happen
it.
again.
Just
Niz
caught the
didn't
very end
happen.
of it.
Niz got it, and Niz will win the prize for today, as I make sure we're on the default announcer. And we will have a try-v-try situation as, again, Hot Hands Yeah, we are going to have a try-v-try situation. Maybe it's just the rotations as Zeb and OG Best Morgana to ever live Vodka Gaming is going to be moving up here with the smoke. They might be able to catch out the Skywrath Mage, but the smoke is
Oh, they're
revealed.
gonna go Bane.
All of them are out of position. Bane,
Bane is so fucked.
Bane is the one who's majorly out of position. The stun goes off onto him. Right clicks following up by the Viper, but they might be able to turn around it onto Zeb as the Cognitive gets a very good sleep on himself, and it looks like the Viper is going to take that sleep. Will Cheech be able to clean this up? No, he doesn't have an escape though, which is very important to note. And actually, because they skilled Concussive Shot first, there is no Arcane Bolt spam coming out of Skywrath Mage, but no more kills will be netted out of that as it goes 1-1 this game. Actually, Witch Doctor denying himself to a neutral, but probably bought out
faster.
beforehand.
No, he actually didn't, but it's just better than using all your regen. You know, there's no way he's going to sit around in the lane, use all his regen, and then join in the fight. He's going to go back to base anyways. Why not just feed to the neutrals and just take the faster trip?
Well, we do have a 1-1 score. As actually Monib might actually go down here as this one Meepo is being chased down. It is one right click away, 20 HP, and the Crypt Swarm misses, but now Monib is going to be able to turn this around as the Meepo. He's running straight at it. He's a little bit ballsy, and no! That misplay cost Monib his life as he almost soloed up the Death Prophet in the middle as Meepo, and that kill is a big deal because Death Prophet is going to get double the experience because it's technically 2 heroes dying in his vicinity. Unless they fix that bug of Meepo, I've heard back and forth that bug's been fixed, not fixed, fixed, not fixed, so I don't know. Taku, bottom lane, is actually getting zoned out, forced to leap here. Does have it and uses his salve to go and heal up, and Death Prophet will bottle up this haste rune in the bottom rune spawn. 30 seconds till Courier can be upgraded as well, and she can begin to crow.
But now she's got that haste rune. She could really put a lot of pressure on this Meepo.
Yeah, and Monib isn't stacking with his other Meepo. Interesting to see. Most Meepos do prefer to stack, but now it looks like he's going to go and double stack with both. No, just one Meepo going to be. Never mind. I'm just going to shut up. He's going to do his own thing.
We got the both supports lying in wait though.
Yeah, they really do want to get this kill, and they need this kill right now. The Concussive Shot will fly out, but again, that haste bottled, and this is a little bit of map awareness coming out of them. Monab might actually die to this because it's cocky play. No, will get away. That is the tertiary Meepo with 20 HP. But what I wanted to say is, and this is something, you know, as a team you'll always talk about afterwards, but we should have checked his inventory. We should have saw that haste rune,
Yeah,
and that gank wouldn't have been wasted.
I mean, you've got your 2 supports sitting around waiting for the right opportunity to go in. You should be definitely checking the inventory. You need to know things like what kind of regen does he have? What does he have bottled? Does he have a TP? All these things are really, really important. And apparently they just either failed to check or they thought that they were just going to surprise the Death Prophet and be able to get a ensnare off, but wasn't the case. Oh, arrow. Oh my goodness, bottom.
Yeah, it's going to fall immediately. Just saw that right as you said it. Takes quite a bit of damage. It is level 1 arrow. Doesn't even need the Starfall follow-up. He was already taking a ton of damage from the right-click harass from Mirana, as well as just the lane dominance. And that's what happens when Mirana gets an advantage against a melee hero, or a lane advantage. She can just continue to pick at him at a distance. And now that she has that phase boot, she actually hits for a ton of damage. Even though Doom is PMS, he has 1 armor, so he's always going to take that full damage after the damage block. Cheech is chasing down Zeb up here as he is now playing the offlane Clinks instead of the carry, as Drop is actually in the bottom lane farming. Might get wrapped around on. Taku does have the leap, will immediately use it, pops out the Moonlight Shadow, but they do have a sentry, which is incredibly important. Cheech is going to try to get out of range of that sentry, but they throw down another. Drop will get the last hit on that kill, and this board now goes 2-3. One of those being a kill to the neutral, so really 1-3.
Yeah, that was really important for them to get that kill. They've been wandering around and they haven't really gotten the best out of their rotations.
And actually, middle lane completely missed another kill, as Meepo dies to the Death Prophet with the double damage. Does dive in that situation.
Yeah, especially after that Mirana picked up.
Oh, actually, Dust being thrown on top. Cheech is going to get initiated on. Will be a free kill as they do clean it up. Viper getting that last kill, or last hit to secure the kill. Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'm starting to catch up to it and starting to follow it, so it's all that matters. You keep talking, Niz.
No, but that was really important for them. Oh,
Mid lane might be a turnaround as Death Prophet does pop the ulti, and if Monab does not get this kill immediately, Monab is going to die again, and this is now a 0-3 Meepo, and unfortunately for Hot Hands, if this game was going to fall apart, this is the way that it would. Meepo getting very far behind. Just too much to carry for a team. And again, it's not the player or that, you know, like maybe he's making mistakes. I'm not trying to say that. All I'm trying to say is Meepo is one of those heroes that when ahead does absolutely amazingly, but when Meepo falls behind, he's multiple heroes that are easy to kill.
Yeah. Especially when you've got some burst potential coming out of this dire side. Obviously, at first glance, they don't really have much burst, but you know, if you can lock down one Meepo, it's gonna die pretty quickly. Arrow coming on mid.
Oh, and it will actually hit on the Meepo. The question is, do they try to turn this? And no. The answer is no, as Taku might be actually going for a Midas here, as he does have the Gloves of Haste only, and might be rushing a Maelstrom instead. But yeah, if Meepo does tank up, however, he is a great answer to Death Prophet, because if he gets 3,000 HP or 2,000 HP on each Meepo, Death Prophet ulti gets easily dispersed unless she's consistently focusing hit. And yeah, you can right click it like I said, but oh, never mind, arrow on to drop into the bottom lane, and that's going to be a free kill for the Mirana, as she definitely threads a beautiful needle there between the two range creeps and the melee creep. Absolutely fantastic play coming out of her with those arrows, and that stops that push, and this tower is really close to deny range. In fact, the siege creep is going to betray the Radiant side and push it into deny range, but meanwhile in the middle lane, Death Prophet does dive into the tower, does get turned around with rotations from the supports, which was very important. And Meepo does get a well-needed assist as well as experience, now starting to get closer to that level 11, which is where he wants to have that third Meepo, help farm the jungle. And again, I'm surprised, as a critic you may call me, but I really think this Meepo, Moneb, should be stacking a lot more in the jungle, and actually he might have overcommitted here trying to push this lane. They does use the smoke, is the Wraith King, but now the bottle is coming out onto Moneb, and what the cool thing about bottle with Meepo is you can easily exchange it between your two Meepos and heal both of them up. And so he will escape from this. A little bit of a waste rotation. Moonlight Shadow was popped as well. And the game will kind of stabilize here, as again, she's just farming pretty well in the top lane. 25 last hits for the off lane. Mirana doing slightly better, but Death Prophet is really the one that's starting to get out of control. 46 CS at 8 minutes into this game, as she is going to start pushing this tower. Exorcism is popped, as well as a double damage onto the Wraith King. Nets are coming out from Meepo. Stun does come out from the Wraith King. They might try to dive onto Moneb, but no, they're not going to dive it. They're just going to go ahead and do as much damage as they can here with the Exorcism, while Meepo is going to farm up these creeps.
Yeah, at first glance, that looks like it wasn't the most successful push. They only got the tower just a little bit below half, but they did go through a glyph as well, so that's really important, because the next time Exorcism's up, they can basically take a full tower. Whether they choose to keep that mid and take down that mid tower, as it is one of the most important towers on the map, or whether they choose to rotate to a different lane and maybe push down. Push down two.
Well, Dire Side Ward does spot out Cheech's rotations here. He is going to throw out the Invis as well as the Soul Pact, or Soul, goddamn, I can't remember, Death Pact, at the correct time.
I thought the dust was on the Skeleton King, or
It was earlier. Mirana does deny that bottom tower's drop, tries to get it. I'm actually kind of surprised the tower wasn't denied before. It was pointed out, I'd say about 2 minutes ago, that it was getting pushed. That's when Death Prophet dived that middle lane. So a little bit of absence of mind there until the lane was pushed.
It was at 141. It was still at a deny range.
Oh, it's still out of deny range. Okay, wow. The siege creep was focusing it when I left to go check out what the Death Prophet was doing. So I assumed it had gone down. Lower. Not gone down literally, but yeah. Anyways, middle lane. Net attempted by the Meepo, not going to hit, is just going to go ahead and poof spam this. And again, not too many stacks coming out of Meepo. Cheech is farming up decently well. He is about to have that first Oblivion staff halfway to his Orchid. You usually want about an 18-minute timing on that Orchid. Anything before is awesome. Anything after is not good, but is acceptable. And anything after 24 minutes is probably horrible for you. He might be going Blink as well, though, as the entire Radiant team is setting up for this. Cognigator is going to run up first. He throws the Sleep out, and it looks like Witch Doctor is going to toggle it. They might choose to toggle this as a team as they go, but now the Sorry, the Meepo's in position, and because he was invis, the cast doesn't bounce to the second target. It looks like the Witch Doctor does go down to an Arcane Bolt in the background, and now Viper will fall as well, and 2 kills going in the favor of the Radiant side as middle lane starts to get sieged up by Death Prophet. Exorcism popped, and this will be a fallen tower as a TP from, looks like Moneb is coming. Color blindness is betraying me there. Taku not going to throw the arrow, and did go for that Midas instead of Maelstrom.
It's easy as a spectator to see and have this opinion, but I think that was a little bit of greed. I think Viper should have just left the Witch Doctor. You know, he's the most valuable target. Just keep the Viper alive. Get the hell out of there. Because one of them was going to die. And they tried to kind of toggle the sleeps and get further and further down the lane and keep both of them alive. But I think one of them was going to die, and it's just better just to get Viper the hell out of there. Unfortunately, they lost 2 because they got greedy and tried to keep both alive. But,
Well, off the back of that, that means they are now at a 1 tower deficit, even though they do have the Death Prophet. They managed to deny bottom tower, however, it is still down. Structures do not come back if you deny them. And maybe Taku might be the pick-off here as he went for a Midas himself. And we are going to see maybe a late game here as we do have Cheech and the Mirana both going for their own Midases. So both off-lane cores going for later Midases here. Cheech will dodge that arrow. Uses the Death Pact to heal up and get some extra damage. Will they try to turn this around as Derp is running, and he does get the Doom off on to the Mirana, and then they immediately use the Grip, but that means that those two in the back, the Witch Doctor is going to get his ulti off, deal quite a bit of damage, does end up killing the Doom, and now Skywrath Mage down to 99 HP. The Chondigator is turning around, sleeps himself to distract the Death Prophet, and it actually works as Skywrath Mage is able to TP out, and now QRT is here. They won't be able to actually get the Viper Strike on to Cheech as he runs away, and now Cognigator does get Yules in the middle of his TP. So 2 for 2. Mirana, who has the Midas for and Witch Doctor, sorry, for the Doom and the Bane. And again, before you say anything, I think that using the Doom and the Grip on the same target was kind of a big mistake, because that Witch Doctor got a full duration Death Ward off, and that never works out well for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think if Bane didn't use his ult, I don't know if they actually even would have gotten the kill on Mirana. I think she would have just been able to tank the whole Doom ult with a Brain Sap. I don't know the math behind that, but I think Mirana actually would have just been fine. So I think maybe it was necessary, but I don't know. Maybe like you said, maybe it was just better used on the Witch Doctor and securing the kill that way, and just having the Mirana being unable to do anything.
Well, Casca is going to fly out, bounce between Cheech and the creep wave, and his buddy drop. Midas is used by him, Cheech that is, as 4 heroes have now congregated in the middle lane for Team Spaghetti, 5 in the middle lane for Hot Hands.
We didn't point out that Viper actually has finished his mech quite a while ago, and we have Doom getting close as well. He's about 500 away from completing his mech. Obviously, almost the eggs up on Meepo.
Arrow flying out, gonna miss everything. The silhouette of the arrow completely off from where the actual arrow is. But what I was gonna say is that the Meepo actually is caught up really well. He's getting really close to his Aghanims, and 12 minutes is a standard timing, but he's about to get a 14-minute Ags, and Doom does go off onto the Death Prophet, which means they could try to counter-initiate this, but they're not going to, and unfortunately that means a waste of a Doom, and that was timed up in such a way that Death Prophet's Exorcism will be coming off of cooldown relatively soon, and they could push off of that. However, they choose to back, and the laning phase will, or not the laning phase, but this game will stabilize and slow down here, as actually a gank coming up towards Meepo. They might find him? No, never mind, they are unaware that he's farming over here, and that's one thing that a lot of carries will talk about, is when you're losing control of your side of the map, sneak into the other side of the map and farm over there. Concussive shot in the middle lane, Witch Doctor taking the damage. It looks like they want to try to take the tower, and Chondigator, sorry, unfortunately wasting his Fiend Script. A little bit of a choke there, as we do see the cast coming out. It does bounce between drop and the creep wave. Now going over to the Skywrath Mage. Death Ward is dropped as well as the Viper ultimate, and they should just let Doom fall, and they do. The rest of the team does disengage here, and they could choose to defend this tower. Mirana will run by a Sentry Ward. Cheech is aware of this, and he has Death Pact coming up any second now. Should Midas, and then immediately Soul Ring Death Pact. Will they try to defend this tower is the question.
Well, it is going to be a 4v4 fight.
Meepo has his Aghanims now.
I think they can still push here. They just have to play a little bit more defensively placed, not like Zeb's placing right now. I
Well,
think
there
he's
goes
placing a wood, though.
Death
Yeah.
Prophet Ultimate will be followed up by the Fortify to help slow this down. If Hot Hands are going to try to defend this, they need to move in soon. But it doesn't look like they're really going to mount too much of a defense here, as they're just going to kind of let this tower go down. Maybe not, as Hot Hands is moving in, and now the Mystic Flare getting completely negated by the great timing on the Yules, and now the stun is bouncing through. Death Prophet doing so much damage. Meepo will fall anyways, as his one Meepo just took too much damage. Focus down, and now Wraith King chasing down the Bane, does still have ultimate available. Doom coming back in from behind, will get it onto Taku, and now the Wraith King will fall. And in the background, Cheech comes out as well, dealing quite a bit of damage to Taku, dropping him well as low as well. Zeeb getting cleaned up by Cheech. Cheech not continuing to pursue here, as the Doom is still out on Mirana. She does have a leap up as soon as that Doom is out, and she will get away. 2 for a tower and Meepo. So yeah, you trade your Meepo, and Meepo is really important, I think, but I think it's kind of worth it considering the situation. Now they force out the Fortify, and this tower is going to be easily taken no matter what. Invis on the Wraith King, but honestly, Cheech playing it really smart. They do get the deny on the tower. And the tower lead, relatively even right now, actually, as the only difference is a T2 instead of a T1 on the map. Throwing down another sentry that might be able to get the kill on the Wraith King. Here they have the Ancient Shield as well, the Arcane Bolts. They're throwing out the Searing Arrows. Mech does come out from Razor, so looks like Wraith King will live. Crypt Swarm as well as right clicks coming out onto Cheech's. Viper and Death Prophet continue the pursuit. There is a Yules available to Death Prophet if she chooses to use it, but no. Will not be chosen, will not be used, and this fight will, or this game again, will slow down a little bit, as Meepo has been doing, as much as I gave him some crap in the laning phase, he's done a really good job, in my opinion, of keeping his tertiary Meepos away from the fight and keeping his main Meepo closer. That way he can constantly farm.
Yeah, this is one of the fastest farming heroes, if not the fastest farming hero in the game, and he's definitely showing the potential of Meepo, as he's all over the place, and he's getting a ton of XP and a ton of gold, as he's quite a bit ahead of the Death Prophet now, in terms of last hits.
Mm-hmm.
And his net worth is almost, it's getting there. It's about 700 behind the Death Prophet now, but he's definitely catching up.
Bottom tower does fall, so now it is definitely a full advantage going into the tower, or as far as towers goes, for Spaghetti, as they do have a full one tower advantage. But in the top lane, Wraith King does get caught out by multiple nets, and now the cast coming out from Witch Doctor, catching back one of the Meepos. Death Ward is thrown down. Meepo taking a lot of damage, and he does not have enough to escape. Gets killed by the Crypt Swarm, and a great arrow by Taku. They throw him up in the air as well. A little bit of overlap stuns, but his TP was cancelled, which means there is no chance of him getting out of here. And a great turnaround as Meepo and Doom fall in the top lane for an attempt at trading, or do trade for a support.
Yeah, that was good, you know? Like, that was just Meepo pressuring in the top lane, and Doom up there, and they put a lot of pressure on this tower, and I don't think they expected the response to be as quick and as many as it was, but it was good, you know? Team Spaghetti, they rotated the right number of heroes to deal with it, and yeah, they lost Wraith King, but they got 2 heroes in response, so, you know, it turned out to be a better trade for them.
Can definitely get on board of that. Roshan is now going to be attempted by Team Spaghetti, as they of course have the Wraith King aura giving all of them lifesteal. No bonus damage, unfortunately, but they
it was daytime.
Yeah, it is daytime.
It's daytime, so they saw the rotation.
Well, even at nighttime, wards have the same vision, but we'll see if anything happens. This arrow is going to fly out by Mirana. Dire side, or Team Spaghetti, is now aware that the Radiant side wants to stop this. There is no sentry. Take that back. There is a sentry now down to see this Clinks move out. Death Prophet ulti is being used as the Roshan will fall to the Radiance. Our Dire side goes to Mirana, as she does have a Maelstrom, almost an MJ now, as she has been farming quite effectively. They do throw out the concussive shot onto Death Prophet to slow her down. Doom will be used as well. Doom kind of out of desperation, trying to get away, and now the Death Prophet, or sorry, the Death Ward is coming down, going to clean up and do a lot of damage. They do end up popping the Aegis on Mirana, which is a good kill, but towards the bottom, it looks like Bane might get out alive, is trying to focus down the Death Prophet, but not going to be able to. But now Meepo coming in from the top side might help up clean up some of these kills, as he does get the Wraith King, but now with the entire Dire side sitting around the area, Meepo is just going to get turned around upon and will die. And Cheech, the only one to make it out alive. He did get that double damage, but he wasn't able to do much. Maybe he can catch out Taku here, as there is the Orchid. And the Orchid, plus the DD is a guaranteed kill here. They're looking for him to use it any second now.
He's just making sure that no one else is around.
Oh, he's gonna a little bit. I think that was a little bit of a choke there. Is now the Orchid's gonna run out. Tries to get the last 2 right clicks, but it's gonna get thrown into the air. Waiting a little bit too long to try to go for that kill. The fling arrow in the back, not gonna actually be able to do anything. As that ward should be cleaned up here by Death Prophet, who has the Yules to throw up the target if necessary. But yeah, maybe a little bit overcritical me, but Cheech, I think he just should have gone. Again, we have perfect information. None of these players should ever have perfect information. They should always be limited in some way or another. But with perfect information, that was definitely the obvious play to make, and something he might look back on and kind of slap himself a little bit there, because they need those kills right now.
Like, he was doing a good job of positioning himself slightly ahead of the Mirana, not being too hasty, going and making sure that it wasn't a Mirana who was alone. And once he found out that the Mirana was relatively alone, I wasn't sure what he was waiting for. I didn't check. Maybe he was waiting for the death pack, because he did death pack the creeps there, the neutral camp. But I don't know. Maybe he just didn't think he didn't have enough damage. I thought he did even without death pack, but I don't know.
Well, it is what it is, as now the game is sliding farther and farther ahead of, or in the advantage of Spaghetti, as there was once a experience advantage for hot hands, hand warmers. But now that advantage is gone, and it is all on the side of Spaghetti, and we'll see what they decide to do with this advantage, as it will be a trade for a T2 for T2. Fortify is popped by Hot Hands. However, this means they will not have Fortify for the high ground, and you can already see Spaghetti says, fine, you've used Fortify, but we're coming for your T3, and now you're not going to have it. We'll see if they'll be able to defend this high ground push, because this may be the deciding fight of this game. Concussive Shot does come out by Skywrath Mage, tagging the Wraith King, but an arrow from Mirana tags an even bigger target. Doom stunned up, and Silence taking so much damage, it's going to fall immediately. I don't think he has buyback, and if he doesn't have buyback, this could be a big issue, as they do get the grip on to Death Prophet, but she doesn't die even with the Mystic Flare, and now their T3 is fallen. Their T2, their Rax taking so much damage. The arrow again lands on Cheech as he's in the background getting taken down by creeps. Taku gonna leap forward and finish off that kill. Blade Mail pop by Wraith King as he's pushing forward, and their Rax is continuing to fall. Bane will fall even again in the background, as we do see a buyback from Cheech as they attempt to defend this, but here we should see Spaghetti just back up and collect themselves, as they have gained a relatively major advantage. 23-minute racks is a big deal in any game of Dota. And actually, we might see a pickoff from Zeb. Yeah, Zeb thinks he's safe, trying to run away. Cheech is right under him. There goes the... Not going to make the same mistake twice. Definitely gets the right timing on the Orchid, uses the strafe, and immediately starts to spam those... I can't think right now. Searing arrows. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a relatively long day of casting, and this has been a good game, though. I think that as much as that Rax, I said, to contradict what I just said, as much as that Rax is a big deal, I'm not counting Hot Hands out of this. Meepo has a chance to come back. Meepo is actually an incredibly powerful carry hero. Even if he's kind of behind, like, if he can get up to that double Scotty or double Heart or Heart and Scotty or whatever his preference is on that question, they don't have enough focus to bring down Meepo. I personally, I don't think. And from that point, it really comes down to how much damage Mirana does. That being said, she could actually just move right now into a crit or an MKB. And a crit and MKB is going to be more than enough to focus down any hero on the Radiant side.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they definitely have the tools to stay in this game. And once Meepo gets big, Team Spaghetti is going to struggle. Going to struggle to kill the Meepo, but they got to get there. And we just saw from that last fight, when the fight starts going, when things start falling apart for this Hot Hands hand warmers, God, that's hard to say, team. once things start falling apart for them, it falls apart very quickly, and it can get real bad real quick. We saw Bane buyback, we saw Clink's buyback. Let's see who else. I think that was just it. Yeah, just those 2 heroes bought back. But that's still quite a bit. You're using 2 buybacks, and you're still losing a set of racks 23 minutes into the game. That's not a position you want to be in any game. So, it's quite an uphill battle for them. But like we said, Meepo was really out of this game at the start, and he's crawled back, so he has the tools to get back in this game. And obviously, Clinks can wreak havoc on the map, and if he's able to do that, and he can pick off some heroes and really delay some pushes, he can buy his team some time, and that's how he gets off the ground, and he starts snowballing a bit too. And of course, Doom will get there in his own way. He can farm pretty quickly too. So, I mean, they've got the tools to stay in this game. They just need to make sure that they don't make any mistakes that don't allow them to try and claw their way back into this.
Yeah, well said. Well said. We'll see when he gets back from this DC how they will actually execute and get back into this game. That being said, while we're taking this break, I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to say again, thank you guys so much for all of you who have stuck around. Appreciate it, considering there are many alternatives for casting this specific tournament. I'll also take this opportunity to go ahead and let you guys in on a little heads up. Me and Niz are going to be working hopefully soon with Join Dota. Maybe not exactly with them, but to get into the Join Dota League. I know there's a lot of complaints about how there's never English casters and how about the English casters are never that good. So me and Niz are going to try to take up that shield and get into some of the Join Dota League games over the next, maybe not this week, but the week after, and continue to cast that as our other form of content for you guys. But yeah, and also following our Twitches, slash Dota Raptors, you're here. Otherwise, you're watching in Dota TV or slash Nizcast. Our Twitters at Nizcast and at Dota Raptors. And any comments or feedback that you guys can give us is honestly really helpful. Sometimes, as much as all of us would like to think, we don't know it all. So anything you guys can do to help us, prompt us, and get on the right track as far as what kind of casting you guys enjoy, what you don't like, and stuff like that, we really appreciate it. So now that I got that out of the way and I tried to buy time, I guess I could also say that this game is definitely starting to get to that point where the tension is real. We're one game away from the $100. Winner of this obviously goes on to play for that $100. So yeah, big deal, honestly, and the prestige that goes with it.
Yeah, this isn't the biggest prize pool in terms of tournaments, but this is where teams start to make it in the North American scene, and this is where you get noticed. So even if you're just a group of 5 friends that just wants to get together and play a little competitive games, you can do that. You can play in the first couple rounds and go as far as your talent and your coordination will take you. But if you're a serious group of 5 and you're looking to play, this is still the tournament for you. You can get in. You can play through the rounds. They've done a good job of changing the format of this tournament so that you actually aren't waiting very long between your games. But when you get into the round of 8, even the round of 16, you're getting up against some pretty good teams, and especially when you get to the semifinals and the finals, you're up against some pretty strong North American teams, and that's where the casters start to notice you, the fans out there that are watching the stream start to notice you, and also you start getting some recognition amongst the other players that are other competitive players that are pretty high up in the North American scene. So this is kind of the tournament that starts opening doors for you. So definitely check out SCS Dota. It's called it's semiprodota.com if you're interested in playing in the tournament. You can find all the information there.
Yeah, and I can go ahead and link that for you guys when we get to that point in the stream. Just count down for 2 minutes and we can go ahead and link that there. So at this point, I don't really have much else to say as far as this game status is going. Is there any thoughts that you've had, Niz, that you haven't had time to get out in this game, or are you pretty much...
I think we kind of echoed everything already that needs to be said. Unfortunately, this guy's internet... Oh, he's back online apparently. And he's back in the game, so okay. There we go.
and we can begin.
Apparently, Team Spaghetti played 4v5 for their round 2 match.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive.
Well, they did win it, and they are here in the semifinals, so bam to that round 2 team. So we can begin, or we can continue here, guys. Moneb is going to try to get the net, and he does here, which is very important. They're going to go ahead and turn this around. Blade Mail is popped, and he tries to TP, but that was honestly just kind of a waste of a TP. And now Moneb should be able to clean up this kill. Again, maybe a little bit of a questionable doom, but a secure kill is a secured kill. No chance he got away. Don't think he would have anyways, but I'm not going to be overly critical. It's just important that they get kills. That's basically where they're at. Arrow, it does fling out. Oh, hits Cheech in the head, but not going to do much after that. Headshot.
Little kills like the one that they just got on Wraith King is what they need, right? Like any kind of, even if it's just one hero kill, they don't have to win, team fights in spectacular fashion. What they need to do is get a couple of little pickoffs like that, just buy themselves some time. Give their Meepo time to farm and get insane. Give their Doom the time, give their Clinks time, like I mentioned before, to kind of get the ball rolling. And pickoffs like that they just got on the Wraith King is what they need to do. And look for them to try to get a couple more of those, and they'll be looking. They'll be on the right track to get back in this game, having already lost Rax 23 minutes in.
Very well put. Death Prophet does pick up that point booster. I assume that's going to go straight into a Bloodstone. We do see the Manta pick up from Viper. Definitely very important. Will actually remove a lot of important things, such as the silence from Skywrath as well as the Orchid. Either a Desolator or BKB being built up on Mirana now, and Witch Doctor, not too much progression from him, and neither from Wraith King. And honestly, on the Radiant side, we're starting to see a little bit more item progression come out. Of course, we do have that Ghost Scepter on the side of Skywrath Mage, which will help him survive a lot. Blink and 3,000 gold now on Meepo. He did pick up that Blink a while ago. Sorry, excuse me, before the pause. And crit coming out of Clinks relatively soon here. He does just need that Blades of Attack, which he does now have as he sends that full item out. Chrysalis. But top tower might be sieged here as Spaghetti getting in position. Taku will throw out the arrow. Not going to hit anyone. Flies to the side of the Clinks. Cheech going to run forward, but the blink in from Meepo hitting multiple with the net. Doesn't even look like actually the Death Prophet doesn't even get her ulti off, and in the background the Fiend's Grip onto Viper, stalling him out from doing anything, and now the Mystic Flare doing a lot of damage to the Mirana. Will force her to zone out or run away. Arrow does fly back in, but she's not going to be able to do anything about it, and now the main Meepo throws out the net. Will miss it, unfortunately, but he can go ahead and charge up the poofs, and he's going to, maybe, looks for it, wants to blink forward, chooses not to, as Viper will TP away. And that fight was exactly what they needed. Great reactions from Meepo, great reaction from Doom. And honestly, the fact that Death Prophet had to use herself so early made it easier for Doom to guarantee the Doom onto Death Prophet before that ulti was popped out.
And you never want to be using yourself before you pop Exorcism on Death Prophet, but that's one way to win a fight. Meepo was able to blink poof. Oh.
Yeah, Clinks? Maybe? No,
so
no sentries.
Meepo was able to blink poof in, and he actually hit Death Prophet and I'm not sure who, but there was another hero just above Death Prophet in the fight there. Both got hit by the poof.
Oh, Gem on Wraith King, and now Cheech is in big in trouble. This just got off the courier onto Wraith King, and this will be a free pick on Cheech. Unfortunately, bad timing there, and before or right as you were saying all that and he got picked off, I was going to mention, with all of the items that are now picked up, it is impossible for Clinks to focus anyone except for Witch Doctor. He'll get Blade Mailed, Manta'd, BKB'd, or he'll just Yules, or Yules. One of the four will happen unless he goes on Witch Doctor when Witch Doctor is alone. And we actually see a full Eye of Scotty being picked up by Meepo here as he's going to boof in on to the Death Prophet. Can he get the kill as multiple right clicks coming out? He does have the follow-up nets, and he does get the kill, and now the Fiend's Grip onto Viper as well as the Mystic Flare doing a ton of damage. He is cleaned up, and now Wraith King coming into the fight does group up with the Witch Doctor, gets hit by a double concussive shot. Arrow, however, is going to hit on Skywrath Mage. They're trying to turn it. Death Ward is used, but they cancel it with the level Death. Great play, drop dropping the Doom onto Mirana as the Meepo does blink away, and that's actually kind of a big mistake. He could have turned it around, but now his teammate going to get isolated and picked apart as Taku just focuses him down with that Mask of Madness, actually never even getting to use the Mask of Madness. Maybe Meepo made the right call there as he does survive, but his teammate dying, assuming that maybe he was going to participate in that fight with him. But he does actually have a really great position here. Maybe not as the team might react to it. He is going to just do the right click and back out. Throw them off. He does have the haste. He could go for the poof spam in. And it looks like that might be the case, is that they do actually still have Aegis on Wraith King, which is worth noting. Arrow is dodged. He does throw out the net, but misses. Continuing to chase is Taku. Hasn't activated that Mask of Madness or the BKB yet. TP in from Bane as the blink forward into the poofs is going to come out, and now the cast is bouncing between. The Meepo is taking a lot of damage, and he does actually fall godlike for Taku as he blinks forward. Cognigator is just going to get right-clicked through that sleep because of the BKB on Mirana, and now Taku is absolutely out of control. Now sitting at another 2,500 gold after his Mask of Madness and BKB pickup, and this game is starting to get harder and harder for Hot Hands to pull out.
I've been so focused on this Death Prophet and Monib just doing work on this Meepo and just constantly killing the Death Prophet and just bringing his team back in this game. And then all of a sudden Taku kind of came out of nowhere. Now he's on a beyond godlike streak. Where did this come from?
Great positioning and great focus. I mean, honestly.
I feel like he's kind of, not that he hasn't done anything, but I feel like it's been kind of silent in all the stuff that he's done, and all of a sudden now he's beyond godlike, 14, 2, and 6.
Yep. With all of their tank ability and their push ability, this melee racks will fall. And with 2 racks down, I know we had that long pause, guys, but remember, this is the second set of racks. It may not feel like it because of that pause and what Hot Hands has done in the last few minutes, but now they are down 2 racks. And this game is getting increasingly harder for them to pull out.
Looks like they're going to fall back. I think they are going to go for
Roshan, yeah. Is up at a relatively good time for them. Actually, a perfect time for them, as they will just be able to clean this up and get a free Aegis. It isn't cheese yet, as it is the only the second Roshan of the game. But it is still important nonetheless. Radiant is aware of this. They know that with an Aegis, they're not going to be able to defend their high ground, but they don't react quick enough, or they knew about it, and some of them wanted to react, and some of them didn't. But the point is, right now with this Aegis, to be completely fair, I don't think Hot Hand stands much of a chance here. Mirana didn't pick up the Aegis. I believe it was the Viper. No, it wasn't the Viper. Who picked up the Aegis? Yeah, okay, it was Death Prophet. So they just want to make sure that they get the Death Prophet ult off. And honestly, after the last few fights, I don't blame them. It's a good decision. But yeah, what are they going to do? What does Hot Hands even have at this point? Considering all of the things we've said are now suspect to the fact that you initiate on Death Prophet, or you initiate on... Yeah, Death Prophet should be the only one up there anyways, but you initiate her on, and she just revives.
They've picked off heroes in the past, and one of those heroes has been Death Prophet. They are smart to just be grouped as 5, and they're going to just push now.
Well, I think they're playing it...
They're waiting for Exorcism right now.
Yep, and honestly, I think they're playing it smart again, smoking up, trying to defend this tower. Instead of defending at the high ground, they're going to try to catch them off guard. And honest, oh no, Chonigator does use the Fiend's Grip onto an illusion, and this is going to be the beginning of a bad team fight for them as Mirana pops the BKB. Blade Mail onto Wraith King as they chase forward. Arrow does miss Cheech, but the Wraith Fire Blast is there, and now they're pursuing down. Cheech has fallen. Meepo is backing up, and Cheech is going to call the GG. And honestly, what a great game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire victory.
What do you have to say, Niz? I mean, honestly, it was just kind of a catch-out at the end, but what are your thoughts about that at the end of the game?
I mean, the Meepo pick, it didn't work out for them. You know, they struggled off the start. The Death Prophet got rolling, and then they clawed their way back in, and Monib was actually, he started playing really, really well on the Meepo and doing a lot of work, and they started dealing with the Death Prophet, and it looked like they were doing okay, and they lost their X 23 minutes in, and that was a struggle, but they kept crawling back in, and then all of a sudden Taku came out of nowhere, and he just said, guys, I'm here, you know, this is my game, I'm just going to win it, I'm going to the finals, and there was no stopping that, and that was it, that was all she wrote. And,
well, fair enough.
Spaghetti in the finals.
Fair enough, and yeah, we will have Spaghetti, and I will go ahead and give you guys the update on who is the other one in the bracket. I went ahead and screwed up. clicked the wrong thing, and actually it will be Tenjin in the finals versus Spaghetti. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this cast. We'll be bringing you the next one for the finals of this tournament. Winner will walk away with $100. If you enjoyed this cast, please click the follow button below. Check out my Twitter at DotaRaptors, or my YouTube, where all the VODs will be uploaded at YouTube/DotaRaptors. And of course, check out Niz as well. At Nizcast is his Twitter, and his Twitch is /Nizcast. We will be back in just a moment, guys. So please go get a drink, take a break, and be ready for the finals.